Hello, this is Dr. Don, leadership strategist and CEO of Influencers Global. Welcome to Motivation Monday. So, you know, here in the States, we have a game that everybody loves called American football. And the goal of each of these teams, whether they're in the Northeast or the Southwest, it doesn't matter. The goal is to play each individual game and to win. And once they win, at the end of the season, the real goal, the big goal, is to get to the Super Bowl. And when they win the Super Bowl, they become the champion for that year. And I want to encourage you bigger than that, because I'm not really here to talk about the Super Bowl, but I am here to talk about your super goal and how you can be a winner at what it is that you have as a goal on the inside of you. My desire today is to get the goal from the inside of you, out of you, that you're walking in it, that you can be a winner at it. So listen, everybody needs goals. You know, a study was done back in 1979 at Harvard University through the MBA program, and they tracked their students for 10 years. And the question was asked to these graduates, do you have clear written goals? Well, you know what? 3% of the graduates said they had clear written goals. Another 13% said they had goals, but they weren't written. And the other 84% didn't have any goals at all. 10 years later, when they found and follow up with these very same graduates from Harvard University's MBA program, this is what they discovered. They discovered that the 13% who had goals were making twice as much as the 84% who didn't have any goals at all. That's amazing. And what about the 3% who had written clear goals? Guess what? This is what they discovered about them. They discovered that they were earning 10 times as much as the other 97% put together. You heard me correctly. These 3% were earning 10 times the amount of the other 97% salaries put together on average. Isn't that amazing? All because they took the time out to figure out what is it that I really want and to put it down on paper. So today, let's talk about setting smarter goals. So let me give you 7 simple steps that you can do. And the key word here is do, because some of these, particularly the first 5, you probably already know. But they won't help you unless you do them, unless you do what the 3% are willing to do. Write them on paper. The first thing to setting smarter goals is to make them smart. S stands for specific. Exactly what is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you want to see? Be very specific. Vague goals have no power. They don't produce the motivation you need to accomplish them. The second step is M, measurable. How will you know when you've accomplished a goal that you have in front of you? How will you know you reach a goal? In football, we know because we get to the end zone. What is your end zone? How will you measure success? A, attainable. Is this something that's actually attainable for you to do? Are you able to actually pull this off? R, relevant. Is this goal relevant with who I am and where I'm going in the big picture? So winning the small game in football every week, it fits into a bigger picture. So is a goal that you're desiring to accomplish, is it relevant with who you are and who you are becoming and what you want to do with your life? If not, you probably won't have what it takes to stick through and accomplish it. T, time bound. Every goal needs to have a date put at the end of it. When will you have this goal accomplished? It answers the question of when. So let's go back about the SMART goals real quick. S, is it specific? Are you stating exactly what you want? M, how am I going to measure it? Is it measurable? A, is this something that I actually can attain? R, is it relevant? Is it relevant to who I am, where I'm going, who God has called me to be, what my purpose is? And finally, T, is it time bound? Now the last 2 you may not have heard of, but I want to encourage you with this next one, particularly in the days that we live in as Christian leaders. E, ethical. Not every goal is worth pursuing, particularly if I'm going to have to compromise who I am or whose I am. So is a goal that I'm going for, is it an ethical goal? And R, one that we often don't consider, but Jesus talked about this one when he said there was a man who went to build a house, but he didn't have enough because he didn't count the cost. And that is our resources. Do I have the resources that it takes to complete the job? Now, you may stop and say, oh, well, I don't see how I'm going to do this. That doesn't mean you can't do the goal. It just means, how can I go about getting to those resources? What are the connections that I have? What are the resources that I'm sitting on? What are some of the talents that I have? What's the cash reserves that I have? All those kinds of things are part of the resources. Who do I know? So those are things that you should consider as you set your goals and making them smarter so that you can be a winner in your own life. This is Dr. Don. Thank you for joining me for Motivation Monday. Make it a great week.